Come on. You have a seat. There you go. Oh, okay. Once again, I'm Detective Cayenne. This is my partner, Detective Green. How do you pronounce your name?
Akinyemi Borisade.
Akinyemi Borisade? Okay. I know a lot has transpired tonight. You've probably been in contact with several members of your unit, sergeants, lieutenants, things of that nature. Do you understand what's been going on? You've been informed. I guess you spoke to Internal Affairs as well as your lieutenant. Well, you actually don't have a lieutenant, correct?
Lieutenant Hack.
Okay, Lieutenant Hack Sunday. He's your acting lieutenant, or is he like the lieutenant of your squad?
I'm my squad watch 3.
Okay, but you don't have a sergeant. Is that correct?
Yeah, we don't have a sergeant.
Got you. So, you know, there was a criminal allegation tonight, and that's the reason why the integrity unit gets called, okay? So within JSO, you have the internal affairs that deals with policy and procedures, and we deal with any time laws may be violated, okay? What I have to do, per our policy and procedures, due to the fact that this is a criminal investigation, I do have to advise you of your constitutional rights. You understand? Okay. You have any questions before we get started? All right. Have you ever been here before? This is the integrity office, okay?
I've only been on the streets since February.
What do we know? So you've been on, I guess technically solo for about two and a half months. Okay. What beat do you ride?
Golf 2.
Okay. What shift?
Watch 3.
Watch 3. Do you ride with like, do you got? We know you don't have partners, but do you have like a constant 35?
Not since I moved to watch 3 now.
Where did you start at?
Watch 6.
Mm-hmm. How long you been on watch 3?
This is my second work cycle.
Gotcha. All right, the time is 12:48. Correction, 12:48 a.m. Can you spell your first name?
A-K.
A-K.
I-N.
I-N.
Y-E.
Y-E. Akinyemi.
M-I.
You pronounce it Akinyemi?
A-K-I-N-Y-E-M-I.
A-K-I-N-Y-E-M-I.
M-I.
Okay. And Akinyemi?
Akinyemi.
Akinyemi. And Borisade, right?
Yes, sir.
Which is B-O-R.
I-S. A-D-E.
A-D-E. What's your date of birth?
August 26, 1989.
August 26 of 89. And that makes you how old?
26.
Okay. Watch 3. What color squad is that, blue or gold?
Gold.
Okay. So basically, let me just go over these with you. And I know it's something that you do on the streets every day, okay? So I'm not trying to treat you like you don't understand or you don't know, but it's just something that we have to do for our policy and procedures, okay? And it says, you do have the following rights in the United States Constitution. You do not have to make a statement or say anything. Do you understand? Is that yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything you say can be used against you in court. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before you make a statement or before any questions are asked of you, and to have that lawyer with you during any questioning. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you can't afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning, if you wish. You understand?
Yes, sir.
If you do answer questions, you have the right to stop answering questions at any time and consult with your lawyer. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So real quick, Officer Borisade, and I don't want to take this as something small, or I don't want to make it something big, okay? This basically is your constitutional rights and says you have the right to talk to us if you want to, or you have the right to talk to us through an attorney. You understand all these rights,
Yes, sir.
and you're good with it, and you're willing to give us a statement of what happened tonight.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sign right here, brother. All right. Okay. So, Officer Borisade, what do you like to be called?
Yemi.
Yemi. All right, Yemi. And like I said, you can call me Ed or Ed Cayenne and Darren Green. Okay, so tonight while working, okay, and I'm not gonna really, I'm just gonna touch on the reasons you got called to come in contact with Mayra Martinez.
Yeah.
Give me real brief, a quick synopsis of how you got the call.
She dispatched myself and another officer to the
Who was the other officer?
Officer Vickery
Officer Vickery. Okay.
to the calling out was a drunk dispute between 2 and 63
Mm-hmm.
at Scores off of University Boulevard right by Phillips Highway.
Yes, sir.
So I get there first and we make contact and we talk to her first because she's outside first. So she's saying that they kicked her out and she doesn't have her belongings and whatnot. So I went in there to see if they had her belongings,
Okay.
and they did. So
And they, all right, so real quick, they kicked her off for what reason?
they said that today was her first day, and then she decided she wanted to quit, and then there was like, okay, you can leave. She never left
Okay.
the
So-
premise.
So basically, they kicked her out because they wanted her gone. She didn't want to leave, but she's intoxicated.
Yes.
As a result of her intoxication, at some point, she's arrested. You guys make the determination to arrest her.
Not based off of that.
Okay.
Based off of we informed her that the management of the establishment wanted her to leave, and like as far as like trespassing and
Yes, sir.
whatnot, and then we gave her numerous opportunity and chances to leave as far as verbal, and we just waited there for like, are you gonna leave? Are you gonna walk? Because you're intoxicated. You can call an Uber. You can do whatever.
Right. And she refused.
She refused. She just stood there and just kept like arguing, saying like, "Why are y'all messing with me? I'm not the one that did anything."
Totally understandable.
and
So
whatnot.
the probable cause you guys met, you felt, was for trespass after warning, I'm guessing,
Yes.
and public intoxication.
Yeah, disorderly. Yes.
Subsequently, she's arrested.
Yes, sir. But
Who arrested her, you or Officer Vickery?
that's the thing. We went to detain her, and she began to fight there.
Gotcha.
So we charged her with resisting with violence as well,
Gotcha.
because she kicked at us and swung towards us as well.
Who was the primary officer on the call?
Officer Vickery was primary. I was acting as a backup.
You was 35.
Yes, sir.
So in your responsibilities as a 35, you were there to assist him. You
Mhm.
made the arrest
Yes, sir.
of what you would consider a drunken female who refused to leave the premises after she'd been warned. Or she was requested to leave after her supervisor asked her, and then after police warned her.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then she became a little bit violent and erratic. I noticed in the arrest report, I think you guys smelled the odor of alcohol coming from her mouth
Yes, sir.
during your communications with her. Was she, other than being intoxicated, did she appear to possibly could have been on drugs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What indications gave you that?
Just the overall behavior, the speech. Usually, when I come in interaction with people who are just intoxicated, it's just different.
Okay.
But you could tell she was just on something else.
Gotcha. So now you guys make the arrest and she begins kicking. You get her into the car. Do you guys apply the hobble?
Not right away.
Okay.
I call I got on the radio because we tried getting on the radio during the scuffle.
Yes, sir.
But everybody kept stepping over us and whatnot. But eventually we got her detained, got her in the car.
What car?
His car, Officer Victory.
Okay.
And then I got on the radio and I asked for the PIC to respond to the scene, which is Officer Gary. He responded, and I told him on the radio that we were going to tar her because she was kicking the back window.
So the communications that's going to be heard via the radio is going to be you calling for PIC Garriott, you asking for permission to tar because she was already hobbled, right?
She wasn't hobbled.
Oh, she wasn't hobbled at all yet at that point. She was
just in the back seat.
She was in the back seat.
Handcuffs.
Handcuffed. You said I think you said she was kicking.
Yes, she was kicking the back window.
Okay, which is what gave you the reason to want to tar her. Officer Garrett, does he respond to the scene?
He responds to the scene, and other officers show up as well. They decided it's best to just use the hobble, and we put the hobble on.
Who applied the hobble?
It was myself.
Okay.
And we put the hobble on, and it's like threaded through the door and whatnot.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
And then immediately we leave and take her to the jail.
So, I guess you decided to follow Officer Vickery to the jail?
Yes, sir.
Why?
It's protocol.
Okay.
Just when you're transporting someone that is already being placed in a tar or a hobble.
Got you. So you respond to the scene, you help him out, and then you apply the hobble on her in his vehicle. You follow him to the jail.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you guys pull into the Sally Port. What transpires there?
Pull into the Sally Port. She sits in the back seat while he completes the docket.
Mm-hmm.
I did the narrative of the docket.
Why'd you do the narrative of the docket?
I used to work with DCF, and I'm pretty good with writing reports.
No problem. Okay. So he was doing the arrest report, and I guess you were doing the docket on what, like a Microsoft Word document?
Yes, I was doing
okay, so you were giving him the narrative and then going to shoot it to him on email or something of that nature.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So that's going on. So you're actually not in the car communicating with Martinez at all during that point, correct?
No, sir, I'm not.
Okay. At some point, you shoot him your narrative?
Yes, sir.
And then what happened?
And then I give him the narrative, and then he puts it in the report and sends it to my PIC, Officer Gary.
Mm-hmm.
He approves it, and from there we get all her property, and we put it on the floor near the door. And he says that he has to go on a robbery deployment, and he's like, you don't mind just staying with her. I was like, sure, that's fine. I have no issue with that.
Cool. So you guys get her out of it. Was there any struggle to get her out of the vehicle?
No, sir.
Okay, so she comes out and she's compliant to get out of the vehicle of Vickery's car, right?
Yes, sir.
And then he walks her up to the Sally Port door, the back door to jail.
I walk her.
Okay, so you walk her out. Who gets her property out of his car?
He brings the property.
Okay. And then gives it to you, I'm guessing, tells you he has to leave for the robbery deployment.
Yes, sir.
He sends the docket and just waiting for approval.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, the docket was already approved prior to her getting out the car.
Okay. So now all she's doing is standing at the back door waiting for the door to open up. You guys to let her in, and I guess at that point you'll probably hand the purse to correction officer.
Yes, sir.
Fine. What happens?
From there, she just keeps being disorderly, irate, belligerent, yelling, saying, I'm going to come after you, your family, you guys are all wrong. Y'all arrested the wrong person, and basically what most people who have been arrested do.
Well, not most people do, but probably intoxicated people is what you're trying to say.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
there's other officers there that take note of her behavior as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a homicide detective there.
Mm-hmm.
She's a whiskey foxtrot with short hair.
Detective Simpson.
Yes, sir. She was there, and she was saying like, "Geez, she's really like riled up." There was another guy from like CSX Rail Yard
Okay.
saying that her behavior was noticeable as well. From there, she just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And then eventually she yells, she charges towards me, and that's when I put my hands like on her shoulders right here and got her back to the wall where the door is. And that's when the incident took place, as far as her kicking me and me responding.
All right, you say that. Let me ask you a question, because in your short time that you've been with the agency, how many intoxicated people have you dealt with? Would you say?
I can't put a number to it.
I'm just saying, how many times you think? Maybe 1 to 5, 5 to 10?
I would say numerous.
Okay.
I mean, I can't put a number to it, honestly.
Okay. So, you made multiple arrests for intoxication during your course of training and since you've been by yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how do they act?
Belligerent, obscene. Like she was acting.
Okay. So, besides her verbalizing and being belligerent, like not listening to what you're saying, what else was she doing?
I mean, she kept crossing the line where, like, the officers stand, and so the line that separates, like, the soon-to-be prisoners and the officers. Basically, from what I've been taught, is that they're not supposed to cross that line because it's like officer safety. You don't want them getting too close to like other officers and whatnot. So I advised her to stop crossing the line and whatnot.
So you basically wanted her to stand by the door.
Yes, sir.
That line really and truly is an imaginary thing for law enforcement officers that go to the... There is no line that says a suspect can't walk around. We would like to keep control and command of them, right?
Yes, sir.
But there's that whole thing about that line is, and I'm going to ask you, okay, because you recently came out of the academy, so you probably know these rules better than I do, okay? Is there anything in our policy and procedures that says they can't walk around while they're in there?
I'm not sure.
No. I don't know. I've never seen anything that says a suspect can't walk, especially intoxicated ones, because you get some belligerent ones, okay? I've made a couple of arrests in my times, and you get people who are pissed off at you, the drunk ones, the ones that are on drugs and stuff like that, and they act I don't know this girl. I'm suspecting that if she probably hadn't ingested alcohol and or drugs, she probably wouldn't have acted this way. I don't know that for sure. But at a point in time, there is some limitations on what we can and can't do. You know what I'm saying? And the number one limitations that we have to follow is the fact that when they're in handcuffs, yes, you can, just like you said, she comes out, she passes what you would consider as an imaginary line, and you escort her back towards the door. Correct?
I don't know if I consider it an imaginary line. I mean, at what point, just because a person's in handcuffs doesn't mean they're not a threat, and they could be a harm to themselves. I mean, they're told to stand right there for a reason, I feel like, because they could be a harm to themselves by easily running out of the Sally Port and running into traffic, or running towards an officer and, like, bum rushing me like she probably intended to do.
Totally understandable. Were the bay doors down on both ends?
I can't recall.
Okay. So when you're saying a harm to herself, if she's a harm to herself, you're arresting her for a misdemeanor?
It was a felony charge.
It was a felony charge. Did you notify the back door that, she had self-harm issues?
No, I didn't say that she personally herself is a harm to herself. I'm saying people in general can be a harm to themselves as far as prisoners and walking around freely.
Right. But I'm just saying, let's just stay with the incident with Miss Martinez, because that's all we can talk about. Because, yes, you may have a different experience at the back door than I've had, but a lot of that can't be taken into account right now because it's just your experience with Miss Martinez. Now, I would totally agree with you. She probably wasn't following your instructions. I would say that. What instructions did you give her?
To stand by the door and wait for her name to be called.
Okay. And
don't cross the line.
And her response was?
If you mean this line, and like touched it with her foot, and I was just like, okay. I didn't react then.
What is it about that line that pissed you off? Just that she wasn't.
It didn't piss me off.
Okay.
The line didn't piss me off. It's nothing. That didn't piss me off.
So did something get you angry?
No.
Okay.
I mean, she ran towards me. I didn't know what she was gonna do. She could have spit in my face. She could have bit me. Like she still had limbs and body parts that could have attacked me still.
In what way?
She could have bit me.
Okay.
She could have kicked me like she did. She could have shouldered me like with her shoulder off the curb that I was standing on.
Mm-hmm. And what does the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office policy and procedures state about suspects that are handcuffed? Are we allowed to strike them?
Yes, sir.
In what way? Because she was handcuffed, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you strike her?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you strike her with an open hand or a closed fist?
Closed fist.
Do you remember the amount of times you struck her?
I believe it was 3.
Okay. Where did you strike her at?
In the stomach.
Okay. Like I said, you recently came from the academy, so I'm thinking that you're you're more well versed in that aspect of, active resistance and things of that, and use of force. We're in the academy that they allow us to punch suspects that are handcuffed.
I mean, at that point, she's physically and actively resisting.
Okay, if you're saying she tried to kick you, which is what you said, right?
She didn't try to, she did.
Okay, so she kicks you. And your response is you ball a fist up and you punch her 3 times in the stomach. What part of that falls under JSO protocol? I mean, we have takedown procedures, right? If she's using her legs. Would you agree with that? And Mr. Borisade, like I said, I can totally understand a reaction sometimes, okay? You're not a bad guy, okay? I think you're a good young officer. And I do believe she was intoxicated. I spoke with her and she admitted that. It's a possibility she ingested drugs. So I think with the duo of both alcohol and or drugs in her system, she probably wasn't thinking clearly. Okay, but at a certain point in time, Officer Borisade, we as law enforcement officers, we have protocols that we have to follow as well. And see, what happens is when we deal with intoxicated, mentally ill, people of that nature, they'll do things to kind of, piss us off. But what we have to do is we have to remain above them. And you are absolutely right. She has no right whatsoever to kick you as a human being, first and foremost. Forget being a police officer. She does not have a right to kick you. Okay, but at that point, let me ask you this. If the situation happened again, same situation, is there a different way it could have been handled, would you say? Or would you have the same reaction?
I could have handled it differently.
What would you have done differently? Can we get some napkins, if you don't mind?
Yep.
you would have done differently? Hey, real quick, man. Look at me, Detective. Trust you, man. I'm not judging you. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to belittle you. I'm not here to I'm not angry with you. I'm not upset with you or anything like that. I'm just saying, would you agree with me? Would you agree with me that they give us a big thing? And for you guys are a little bit different. You guys get everything on the computer now, but they give us. When I was coming out, they gave us multiple different books. We get the general orders, we get the policy and procedures, we get the municipal ordinance, the field report manual of how we document reports and stuff like that. And there's a whole lot of information that basically, we're bound by, as well as Florida state statutes, right? And within these documents, they tell us what we can and we can't do. They can't tell you how you can feel emotionally, okay? And I can tell you were upset, and you have a right to be upset. But within those books, they tell us, hey, if you have this situation happen, this is how far you can go. Or this is how your response should be. Now, we put all the emotions, and we put the alcohol and the drugs and everything, and you put that in a boiling pot of water, nothing good is going to come to the end of it. You understand? And you experiencing in your young career a situation like that, I can 100% guarantee you, most police officers have been there and done that. We combined in here, we probably got close to 40 years of law enforcement experience. And I can't tell you the number of times we dealt with some people like Miss Martinez who probably acted totally out of character tonight, because I can't believe that that female will go around and be belligerent, not following instructions and things of that nature. And like I said, nothing that she did tonight gives her a right to do what she did to you. But on the other hand, what we did, in response to her, emotions, do you think it was right, was wrong, could have been better handled?
I mean, it's just like either way, I feel like either way it would have looked bad because I'm a guy and she's a girl. Like if I would have took her down to the ground, she wouldn't have landed on her hand. She wouldn't have been able to catch herself. She would have landed on her face. And that would have looked really bad on camera, just like what I did looks bad on camera.
What do you think looked bad?
I guess the amount of times I hit her.
Okay. What you just said, male or female? If it was a male, would you have been justified doing what you did tonight? Because remember something, we don't put gender on suspects. We don't put race on suspects. We don't put religion on suspects. Suspects are suspects, and they come in all shapes, sizes, young, old, male, female, and things of that nature. And what we got to understand is suspects' acts are sometimes unpredictable. Okay? But that's what makes us being held to a higher standard. Because no matter what the suspect do, the law enforcement officer have to respond in a certain manner. And the manner that we respond, we are bound by the policy and procedures of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, the general orders, and Florida state statutes. And if we go out of that and we violate policy and procedures, then yeah, we deal with internal affairs. But if we violate state statute, then you deal with the integrity unit. So what I don't want you to leave here and think tonight that if that was a guy, your reaction would have been justified.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Because they don't tell you you know, or you have to give me the name of the person that tells you it's okay to punch somebody multiple times that are handcuffed. Right? That
Yeah.
totally goes against our policy and procedure. So like I said, if given the opportunity to do it all over, what different decisions could have been made?
Walk away.
Mm-hmm. Or how about, you know, knocking on the jail window and saying, hey, fellas, can we get a female to this back door so we can get her in here? We've already tussled with her once. We don't want to do it again. She's being belligerent. Guys, help me out. You see what I'm saying? Because our job is to deliver them to that back door and then get them on the other side of that gray door. Because once we do, then it's the correction officer's issues to deal with.
At that point, like, they were like, they don't have enough female officers, so the wait is so long. When you have a female, I'm not trying to make an excuse for anything what I did, but it's just like,
But
this is like, I feel like what happened if like if I would have walked away, she would have thought that it was okay to do that to like another officer, and then it's my fault.
No, see, and I know sometimes these are the myths that you're told in FTO, okay? And when I tell you that, Detective Green and myself, we've been in the same predicaments, okay? So yes, you have a lot of things that we believe in police work that's not really true, like that imaginary line. You're the first person I've heard say that. Like, don't let them cross that line. Because if an officer, if somebody wants to walk across, yeah, your job is to get control and command. So we have escort positions, right? Okay, we have transport positions. Hey, get them back to that wall and say, hey, ma'am, look, real quick, you're pissed off, you're arrested. Hey, you have an opportunity to deal with it by speaking to a judge or an attorney when you get assigned one. But what happens is they escalate, and then we respond. And we can't do that outside of policy and procedures. And that's the only thing I'm trying to get you to understand. All right? Let me do this. Let me go outside and I'm going to speak to my supervisor. Okay? What questions do you have of me, Officer Borisade?
I just don't want to lose my job.
Okay. Well, do understand, Detective Green and Detective Kyan, we don't make those decisions. Our job is we investigate the case. Okay? We investigate the case. We sit down and we convene with the lieutenant of the unit, the sergeant of the unit, as well as the prosecutor over our unit. And then, we put the investigating facts together. Okay? The interviews we get from both parties and or any witnesses outstanding. And then we let them make the decisions. Okay? Any other questions? It's your opportunity to ask.
I mean, I don't know what to ask. It's like, I don't know.
You got a lot going through your head right now, probably. And if there's something I can help clarify for you, let me do that.
Where do I find out, like, what's going to happen?
Okay, well, okay, so I'm going to go speak to my supervisor, all right? I think you spoke with Sergeant Brown of the Internal Affairs. He may want to come in and talk to you as well. But let me get out here and speak to my supervisor, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to kind of let you know what steps we take next, all right? If you got to use the bathroom, just knock on the door, okay?
Sure.
All right, stand by. So you guys decide to head down to the jail. I'm guessing you're driving.
I am
her,
correct.
and I guess Borisade followed you.
Correct.
As a 35. You guys get to the jail.
Mm-hmm.
What route did you take? 95 North?
No, sir. I jumped on Phillips and took Phillips, and then jumped on 95 from all the way to the dead end of Phillips, and then jumped on 95 from there.
Gotcha. You guys get to the jail. What do you notice when you get to the jail? Like, how crowded was it, and what time did you arrive there, you think?
Oh, man. What time would we have arrived there? 5:30 maybe?
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
I'm not 100%.
And what was the crowd like? Like, how many cars
it
were
was It was a decent crowd. There might have been 3 or 4 people waiting to get in.
Okay.
Suspects, inmates at this point, waiting to get in. I was able to park pretty much in front of the intake door.
Okay.
But there were multiple cars. Borisade had to park up front towards the exit.
Okay, and I guess, so when you get to the jail, you guys go inside before you start completing the arrest report?
No, sir. We'd started on the arrest report then, actually.
Where at?
In the Sally Port.
Okay.
In the Sally Port,
Right.
yes, sir.
So...
Oh, that's what you mean. I'm
Yes,
sorry. We were
yeah.
in the Sally Port before we started,
Okay.
correct.
So, you guys are in the Sally Port, and then that's when you begin to complete the arrest docket.
Correct.
Let me ask you a question, and just to clear some things up. The arrest report. You did the arrest report. Who did the narrative?
Officer Borisade did the narrative,
Okay.
yes, sir.
And I guess, tell me the reason why he did the narrative.
I think we're just thinking because she was hobbled and just in a way to expedite the process. He said he might actually send it through MDC. Would you like me to do the narrative? And I said that'd be perfect. I'll
Cool.
start on the blocks, and we'll knock that out.
Okay.
Now that we did review the narrative together.
Okay, not a problem. So you're doing the docket. You're checking in all the biographical stuff for her. He's doing the narrative. I guess at some point he sends you the narrative. You guys review it. You submit it. Who was the approving supervisor? You remember?
Garrett. Yes, sir.
Did you ever notify your supervisor of what you had prior to getting to the jail?
No, sir.
Okay.
It was he was. I believe that was the day he was on something. He told us he was going to be off the radio.
Okay.
And stuff for a while. So if we had anything, send it to somebody else.
Gotcha. So you guys complete the docket. It gets approved. How long do you think that process took?
It seemed like it took a while. It had to have taken a good hour and a half.
Okay.
Because I had a robbery appointment to be on at 7. I ended up showing up a few minutes late because of it. So.
Okay. And so the entire time, was she in the car or did you guys let her out?
She was in the car the entire time.
Okay, that you guys were completing the docket.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Sounds good. So docket's approved now and she's about to exit. What side of the vehicle did she exit on?
The driver's side.
Okay. And at that time, she had the hobble on. Who decided to take the hobble off?
I did.
Okay.
I spoke with. She had actually started to calm down quite a bit at this point.
Yes, sir.
She was for once being pretty quiet in the back seat, not saying much. At least if she was saying anything, it wasn't profanities. I opened the back door and I said, look, we can take the hobble off if you continue to cooperate. We'll remove this for you. That way you don't have to hop up to the front door. And we'll, let your legs breathe or whatever. And she agreed. She said, okay.
Okay, cool. So you take the hobble off. Do you give it back to Borisade or you held
I
on
actually
to it?
went and put it in his car. I
Okay.
told him, I said, hey, I'm going to place it in your car.
Okay.
So I did.
So now it's coming close to, I'm guessing if you're saying you guys get there 5:30, you have the deployment around 7 o'clock. Tell me about the determination for you to leave and him to stay with Ms. Martinez.
Well, I told him, I said, I have a robbery appointment to be on at 7. I'm already late, and I hate being late for those things. But I just said, you're the second arresting officer on the docket. I said, would you mind staying? You can, sign the docket. And he said, yeah, absolutely. That's fine. Go do your thing.
Gotcha.
So, yes, sir.
And when you left them, how was she acting while standing in the Sally Port waiting to be admitted into the jail?
Man, I wasn't there long. I don't remember her acting out at all.
Okay.
But I wasn't there very long to watch or observe.
Okay. So, correct me if I'm wrong, you were not there for the entire incident that led up to the altercation between...
No, sir.
Okay, because you
No,
had
sir.
already left at that time.
Yes, sir.
Were you concerned about any of the use of force at the parking lot?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What concerned you?
There's quite a few punches thrown.
Okay. And when you say quite a few, what are you talking about? The number, the areas that the punches were thrown
No,
to?
the number.
Okay.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a lot of punches. More so attempting to control her arm and detain her.
Okay. So you're concerned about the number of punches thrown, not the area that they were thrown.
A lot of the ones that I saw were mainly to the back and side. It seemed
Okay.
like a pain compliance, but I think a combination of the number and then where they were thrown
Well,
could have concerned me. Such as you throw a few punches to the back or whatever, and to give a little pain compliance,
Right.
and to get her hand removed is fine. Continuous side back, I think is what kind of triggered
a little
maybe this
concern for you.
little, yeah.
Okay, so, but when he's striking her or punching her, the handcuffs were not on yet, correct?
They were not on yet,
Okay,
yes, sir.
and she was not compliant. She was still resisting you guys' demands for give me your hands, give me your hands.
I had her left hand with the cuff behind her, but the right arm was not.
Right. So the strikes was probably to get her to, I guess, take her hand from in front of her to surrender
sir.
to you guys' instructions.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you said it was in the back and in the side.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Did you tell someone that about the strikes?
I called Sergeant Weeks.
Okay.
About the time I went into the robbery deployment.
Yes, sir.
I just called him real quick, just a quick concern.
Okay.
And a heads up.
And what was your concern?
Basically what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I just said, there was. I just said I want to talk to you about something, and he asked, just kind of briefly, what, and I said, with the incident and the arrest that we were just on, and I said, and I just said, with force and stuff used, and he said, "Oh, you talking about with Officer Borisade?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "I'm fully aware of it, but thank you for contacting me."
Okay.
The gist of.
And that was about 7 o'clock, right before you went into your
Man,
meeting for stakeouts.
It was. I was still a few minutes late,
No
5-10
problem.
minutes late, so it was somewhere around there, just after 7, maybe.
Okay. All right. And you notified him by phone, correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
And like we said, you did the docket, he did the narrative. You guys both read it and approved it. What at the parking lot of Scores, did the actions of you guys begin to create a crowd, or?
No, sir. I don't remember a crowd at all. I remember a white truck pulling up right about the time we took her down, and then I remember him still there. Actually, when I told you that time that we got her
Right.
detained, and I just kind of took that breather.
Yes, sir.
And I remember him still there at that time, but there was no. I don't remember anybody outside. But I was so focused on her trying to get her detained. But even after the fact, I don't remember anybody outside.
Okay, and you are aware of the video that came out yesterday inside the Sally Port.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you: were you aware about the other video of the parking lot? Did somebody call you this morning and let you know?
I was called. I was I was called about it last night. Actually,
Okay.
yeah, I called about it last night.
Somebody, because it was at the bottom of a news article or something of that
Yes, sir.
nature. Who notified you of it?
It was a fellow officer of mine.
Okay.
friend of mine.
Just kind of wanted you to see, like, hey, bro, this is probably gonna happen.
It just said, hey, this video has come out, everything. So.
Well, let me ask you a question. Now, you know, because we've reviewed the video as well. Looking at the video, tell me your opinion of looking at the video. Was it the same as the concerns that you communicated to Sergeant Weeks? There
were some things that were missed on my end that I didn't see. I don't know if it was adrenaline or maybe the few times that I looked up to, the radio and contact, to call for backup. But there were some more that I didn't see, that I didn't communicate to him at first.
Okay. But all in all, and look, I'm not here to. What am I trying to be, the moral police? Okay.
Yes.
You guys are taking a person into custody who you guys had to respond to because of her level of intoxication, and she's not being compliant with her supervisors who terminated her and asked her to leave the premises. So as a result, you guys respond. While affecting an arrest, at some point, you guys were not able to get both handcuffs on. And if she's swinging it as a weapon, like I said, I don't think the video showed that portion.
No, sir.
So of course, you know how these things are.
Of course.
You get the juicy part, but you don't get the whole picture. Okay,
Yes,
so that will be for supervisors to determine. But look, when you're affecting an arrest and people are non-compliant, okay, and actively, physically resisting, okay, sometimes things look bad, but are they justified? You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
So, but what you did by calling Sergeant Weeks was the appropriate response for
Yes,
everything. Because all you wanted to do was, hey, Sarge, FYI,
Yes, sir.
I may not have agreed with everything, but we're making an arrest. So,
Yes, sir.
I'm just keeping you in a loop in case you get questions. So that's fair enough. Did you ask her, was she on any drugs?
I didn't ask her if she was on any drugs.
Did you ask her how much she had to drink?
All she said was one cocktail, is all she told me.
Okay. What about, and you didn't speak with management. Did Officer Borisade and you communicate when he came out of the business after speaking to management before you guys approached her?
About just anything?
Like the reasons why management wanted her gone.
The only thing I got from him, and I honestly couldn't tell you when it was that I got this from him, but he just said she was fired because she came to work drunk.
Okay. So she came to work drunk is what? Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
In your short time out there, because you guys have just been out there for like 2 months, which is probably the equivalent of a couple of work cycles.
Yes, sir.
Had you ever responded to any of the calls with Officer Borisade?
Yes, sir.
And tell me about it. Was any of those calls you having to go hands-on?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
One previous, yes, sir.
Was
just one, yes, sir.
Was it a situation that got out of control, or
no, sir, not at all. Well, I say out of control. It was a domestic situation, where we were trying to detain the husband, for domestic battery, felony domestic battery, and he resisted. The wife wanted to come out and save husband.
and everything was acted within policy and procedure?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay, nothing
Yes, sir.
stepping outside of bounds.
No, sir.
So you've handled calls with him before, and it's gone well. But when crap hits the fan, things happen,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir. But
So, was there any other concerns that you had other than the amount of strikes that was used during the arrest? Was anything said? Anything racially? Anything derogatory?
nothing that I heard from him. No, sir.
Okay. Did he ever, and I know you said you was yelling, "Calm down, calm down, give me your hands." Did you hear him yelling anything? Was anybody yelling, "Stop resisting"?
I don't want to tell you yes because I'm not 100%.
Right.
I was so into, getting her detained that with the adrenaline going, I couldn't say for sure. No, sir.
So you see how that tunnel vision starts to work?
It does.
Auditory, visual
Absolutely.
exclusion and stuff like that. Yeah, because you guys are doing what police officers do on a daily basis. It's a dangerous damn job.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and 99% of the times we go to these calls and nothing happens and it's peaceful, and then you get that 1% where you go to a call 4 o'clock in the afternoon to remove somebody from the premises, and I don't think anybody signed up for, oh my God, this is going to get as bad as it did.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us right now?
No, sir.
Do you have any questions, Detective Green?
Not at all.
All right, stand by. Let me just speak with my lieutenant and see if there's anything else that we need
Yes, sir.
to get clarified and stuff like that, and be with you, and then you can get out of here, all right?
Okay. Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much.
Not
Yes,
a
sir.
problem, sir. Stand by.
Yes,
Stand by.
Yes, sir. No, I was just saying that.
Oh,
Leave the room
okay.
as courtesy. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much, man.
No, yes, sir.
All right, just a couple more quick questions. So you can sit down, man.
Yeah, you gotta get
How old are you?
I'm sorry. I'm 28. So
Your mom raised you right. Mom and dad raised you right.
Mom and dad raised me very
All
right.
right.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
And you keep that. You never lose that, even though we deal with the job that we deal with. Okay.
Yes, sir.
When did you complete your RTR report?
Yesterday, last night.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Did you watch the video of the Scores parking lot prior to completing your RTR?
I did. Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you reference anything from the video to base your narrative for the report,
As far as
or was it independent?
No, I really went into the RTR as independent as possible.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to say that. Seeing the video. I saw the video,
Right.
but
Yeah.
I went in thinking from the time of the incident.
Okay.
Looking at.
You said you actually missed some things on that you seen on the video that you missed. I
at
guess
the time that happened.
Right. What exactly are you talking about?
I think there was a point where he actually pushed her face or whatever into the ground.
Okay.
Maybe once, maybe a couple times.
Okay.
And I didn't see that at the time that it happened.
Okay. I'm trying to. All right. I want to ask this correct. Okay. So basically, what you're saying you missed was him pushing her head into the ground. What was the reason why you think he would have done that?
Man, I wish I could tell you.
Okay.
I really do. I don't know.
How many fights have you been in your life? Physical fights.
Oh man, I haven't been in any off duty or any outside of the course of the job.
Okay.
And during the course of the job with corrections in here, man, I don't know, 5, 6 maybe.
So, and all the fights you've had, are you starting now to notice the tunnel vision you get?
Absolutely. I mean, I still struggle with tunnel vision when fighting out.
We all do.
It's
We all do.
not
It's
just
doesn't-
human
it
nature.
That's
doesn't
the
go
body,
away.
right?
Yeah.
That's the body. And I mean, you got the SWAT guys that they train themselves how to
Absolutely.
fight it and do a lot better job as us who don't get that training. But because what I'm trying to decipher was, did you miss what you didn't see on the video because you just didn't want to see it, or is it because you guys are both boogieing and trying to take care of business to get her to stop resisting?
No, sir. I think it was straight adrenaline.
Okay.
There's just some things that I just missed, and when I look back at the video, I know when he pushed her head into the ground, I was trying to communicate over the radio at that point. So I think with just holding her down, trying to communicate over the radio, I think my mind was just elsewhere, and whether, I just didn't see it,
Okay.
or it didn't register.
And so you never even noticed that until
I did
the
not
video.
notice it, yes,
Okay.
sir.
What'd you think when you seen it on video?
It was tough to watch. Yeah. Jimmy being a buddy of mine.
Okay. Do you agree, disagree, or?
Disagree.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, something. First of all, because I can see you getting emotional. Because like I said, this was emotional for a bunch of us. Because I'll be the first to tell you guys, I commend you for what you do. I think the world of what you do. And no, you don't have a lot of heroes that will sign up to do what we did. Okay? So first things first, don't you ever second guess yourself on this job. Because that'll get you killed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We can do all this Monday morning quarterbacking that we want to do. and the outside world can do the same thing, but they don't have the balls to sign up to do what we did. All right? So you guys stand up for that and understand something, okay? When you get into these kind of situations, it can turn very ugly very fast. And I guess in your training is why they tell you, let's get this crap over as fast as possible, okay? And a lot of times, when we see people that are smaller than us or bigger than us, it might get us to react differently. I will ask you a question from your training to now actually you see it on the streets, because you're no longer in a sterile environment. You don't get to land on a mat when you're on the ground fighting somebody. You guys are landing on hard pavement. So if you slam somebody's head on the mat, it may not look as hard. When you slam somebody's head on the pavement and you see it from a dash cam, it looks bad. What didn't you notice on that dash cam? Tell me what you didn't see on that dash cam.
I did not see.
Yeah.
Before her fighting us before.
Absolutely.
The reason why we took her to the ground.
Correct. Do you see her flailing the handcuff to strike you guys? You're not going to see that because, yet again, vantage point, and yet again, it's when somebody decided to start filming it. So that's what we do. Okay, we'll sit here and be the Monday morning quarterback, but I don't ever want you or any of the officers out there working doing anything excessive. But at the same time, you guys got to handle business, okay? Because if not, you'll end up getting hurt. Okay, and you got to remember that. So that's not what's being seen. And the head slamming, yeah, you might not agree with it, because when we start looking back at it and now we get to see it in a different light while you're calm, there's no tunnel vision. Hey, I can't tell you why he did what he did, okay? But I would tell you, when you're in a fight,
things happen.
Things
Absolutely.
happen, okay? And sometimes like they tell you in the academy, revert back to your training, okay? You guys been on 2 months. Okay, so other than the academy, what other training did you have to deal with this stuff? You don't have that. Okay, so sometimes people revert back to fighting and doing what they would normally do. You get up and you get her up and she kicks at you. When she kicked at you, I guess you said something earlier about you trying to push her hands up. Remember?
Oh, yeah, that was afterwards, and I was trying to transport her to the car.
Okay.
Just kind of, yeah, sir.
So when she kicks you, what happens then?
Stand her up, she kicks. You know, I think at that point I just really tried pulling her to the car. I think it was just, get her in the car and get her secure.
Did you notice Officer Borisade slamming her head in the car?
No, I didn't notice any of that. I remember grabbing her and pulling her to the car.
Okay.
And putting her in. I honestly don't remember, no, sir.
So you told me earlier in the interview there was a time that she tried to back kick you or mule kick you.
When we stood her up, yes,
right.
Sir.
And then there was one that she did kick you and she possibly contacted you.
I'm not sure where we're getting to them at. I mean, I know she was kicking when we were originally trying to get her handcuffs, and she was originally stood up before she was on the ground.
Okay.
I know she was kicking. And then she mule kicked when I had her stood up in handcuffs and was about to take her to the car.
Okay.
I remember by video that making contact, but I think that was strictly from video. I don't remember anything.
Could have kicked you. Your adrenaline was rushing.
Absolutely, I don't remember feeling anything that she actually did.
Yep. And this is what happens. Trying to think what else. Yeah, because I know the RTR report was a little bit different than the arrest report.
I think just taking time to have everything settle in and, getting, well, not getting much sleep over it,
right.
but, kind of laying in bed and just thinking things start coming together for
right.
me again.
Did you disagree with anything that was written on the narrative of the arrest report? Was there anything left out? Was there anything that should have been added?
I think I looked over at him and I made some corrections. As far as I think he put in there at one point that she kicked us, and I said, you know what, man, I don't remember actually getting kicked. I don't want to put that
right
because I don't remember getting kicked. So it was little things like that. But as far as disagreeing with, I Yeah, I didn't have any like questions like, why'd you put this in here? I just remember saying, I'd rather not put that in there because I don't necessarily remember getting kicked, so I don't want to put that in there.
Right. So so you take out something that actually happened. Now that you look at the video,
I mean,
you see what I'm saying? But it's just because, yet again, your perception, vantage point, but also too, you're now after the environment where you're fighting someone, versus you being in an environment an hour and a half later completing the report.
Yes, sir.
Now you're in a sterile situation. She's in the backseat of the car. You know, you're up front. You got an opportunity to breathe, probably get something to drink. So you actually took something out that actually happened. So, you know, yet again, so sometimes when you write RTR, if you look at the video, or when you write the arrest report, sometimes we don't want to embellish, we don't want to put things in, but yet you took out something that was pertinent. But it's understandable because you don't remember. Exactly. And a lot of times you won't remember until you see a video. So what we're just trying to do is make sure that we clear that video up.
Absolutely.
So, because like I said, just like the news media, they get to see a snippet of what happened at the Sally Port. And like the only thing we get to see from the dash cam is what someone provided. But like I said, we don't see a whole bunch of the fighting before y'all go to the ground. We don't see her flailing and swinging with one handcuff on and you trying to wrestle her to get another hand. We don't see all of that. So, you know, sometimes it's a small picture of an actual big story.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
All right, stand by one more time. Let me just make sure I speak with LT and then we'll get you out of here. Let me get you another water, brother.
That'd be great. Thank you so much.
All right, brother. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, last question, and then we'll let you get out of here. Okay, when you watch the when you watch the video from the dash cam that you saw from the scores, and you said you noticed him slam her head or push her head into the ground, was there any reason you didn't document that as a part of your RTR narrative?
You know, because from the video, it's, you know, I'm getting up and getting on the radio. Like I told you before, I was trying to document as much as possible of what I kind of got from the incident, from the time that happened, and I'm sure the video played a role in kind of what refreshed my memory.
Okay.
But because of the way I was on the radio and looking up, and I don't think that refreshed my memory. I think that was something that I strictly got from the video.
Okay.
And I was trying to be really careful what I put in it, because I don't, you know, I didn't want to come across as, you know, like I saw something when I really wouldn't have. Just the way, you know, I was sitting up and looking away trying to get over the radio.
Okay.
I just didn't want to put anything in there that I, you know, that I didn't think I would have
That you
seen at the
didn't
time.
independently
Yes, sir.
recall from your knowledge or based on the video. And in the future, if that does happen, okay, because it's just like when we testify in court and stuff like that,
Yes, sir.
there's things we recollect, and then there's things that I don't recall, but according to the video or the interview, this is what was said.
Okay.
So you may want to document that way, like, hey, look, I don't remember this happening, but after seeing the video, this happened.
Yes, sir.
So
Okay, alrighty.
and that was
Cool.
it. And yet again, I will tell you, okay, whatever you do, do not let this incident or the results of this incident cause you to not act appropriately
Okay,
within policy and procedure.
absolutely.
Okay, and the guidelines that you get Florida state statute. Don't fail to act
Mm-hmm.
because you're scared of what may have happened to Officer Borisade. You're an Officer Borisade. You responded to the same scene. You dealt with the same suspect, but your actions were independent.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I just want you to remember that for the future, because
Thank you.
you know, look,
Definitely.
officers may lose their jobs, but I hate to see an officer lose his life because they fail to act.
Absolutely.
All righty?
Absolutely.
All right. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
I
a lot,
appreciate
sir.
it.
You too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Who moved in City Gate?
Oh yeah, I totally forgot to email you.
You forgot to
about
email me.
that.
Who
I
moved
know.
in?
I didn't know. I don't know.
No,
I
isn't
need
your
to call
girlfriend
Kate.
Kate? I mean, isn't Kate your
No,
wife's friend?
Oh, I was about to say, don't tell my
Oh,
girlfriend.
no,
My
not
wife
your
would
girlfriend,
get
your
mad.
wife's girlfriend.
Yes.
So
I
she
didn't
did.
find out.
I was just wondering who moved in. I don't know.
I never did find out.
I thought you knew. It just didn't tell me because it was, it was like secretly on the